Hi, Leomise. Thank you so much for joining. Very nice to see you this year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. As I've told you when we connected a few weeks ago, I've launched, I don't know if I want to call it podcast, but I've just launched this interview series, Business Made in America, where I am interviewing business owners. They can be from all over the world, but they live here in the United States or maybe even Canada. I have someone in Canada and they've built businesses. And one day I was like, hold on, why not actually interview Leomise? Because she's still having a business, even if it's a nonprofit. Uh,
Right.
so in today's interview session, I would like to chat with you about your journey, the Butterfly Ethic Mentoring Program, how you started, how people can apply, what is the curriculum, etc. But questions will come as we have the conversation. So for those that, I think my audience is pretty small, and I think this is the first time they meet you. But for those who are listening to this podcast, um, who are you and how did you start this organization? How long ago?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leomise McClendon. I am a native of Miami, Florida. I started Butterfly Effect actually 8 years ago, January 16th.
Oh, wow.
Just passed was our 8 year anniversary. And Butterfly Effect came about in many different ways. Number one, I was a teenage mom, and I've always wanted to reach back and help young girls within my community not to make the same mistakes that I made, right? And so, because we didn't have those resources and the how I grew up, not being able to ask questions in the home because it was a very authoritative home. Um, so, the streets pretty much taught me, besides my academia, the streets pretty much taught me. And so it started with my children, actually. My oldest son will always bring his friends home to me, ask me, can I talk to them because they was having hardships in their homes with their parents and things like that. And then it moved on to my church where my pastor would, if a young person or it didn't necessarily have to be a young person. If anybody needed someone to talk to, he found the faith in me that I would, be able to be that listening ear, not always having all the answers, but just being that listening ear and giving them a safe space to speak. And then I started volunteering at the Miami Bridge Youth Shelter. I believe it was 2018, 2017, 2018. I wanted to give my service. I wanted to give my time because that's all I
Yeah.
had at the time to give. I wanted to give my time. And so I said, what better way for me to give my time is to look for a place where children are vulnerable, where they can see somebody that look like me, to come because truth be told, most people that volunteer at times in shelters and places like that, they don't normally look like me, but the children look like me. So I said, you know what? I want to be that representation for my culture. And so I started there and I was welcomed there by two gentlemen that ran the program. Everybody, all the workers there, they were so nice, made a great impact there. It was every Tuesday night from 1 hour. We would go and sit with the kids and talk to them about life,
Right.
let allow them that safe space to vent, to express what it is that they're feeling and why they're doing the things that they're doing. And then I just always had this desire to really open up a group home. I wanted to open up a group home because, funny as it is, my house is considered the group home, right?
I
Because
love it.
I'm always opening my door to the least, the lost, the left out. I get that trait from my mom. My mom was like that.
That's
If
wonderful.
we had the space, she welcomed them in. And I didn't understand it as a child when she was doing it. But once I became a parent, and I just couldn't see no child left outside or, just because their parents are going through something. And so my home became the group home. And so I wanted to open a home for girls, which is still on my bucket list. It's still there to open a group home for girls. But then that's where the program came about, Butterfly Effect Girls Mentoring Inc. I love butterflies. I love what butterflies represent. Butterflies are actually pollinators. They're just like bees. They're
Yeah.
pollinators, right? And they leave their impact wherever they go. And so that's who we are, Butterfly Effect. We leave our impact wherever we go. We have a small grassroots organization. I'm a one-man show. If I can be honest, I'm a one-man show, but we have made so much impact in the past 8 years with the lives that we have touched and the opportunities that we have afforded these young ladies. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It could be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming, but it's amazing at the same time to know that you sowed a seed into someone's life.
Yeah. I do want to acknowledge you and the other women in your community because when I first met you, I think a few months ago, I don't remember, September or October, at the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce event, I was
Yes.
very impressed by the fact that women like you and other women from your community actually step in to help other children,
Yeah.
moms. And I haven't seen that anywhere else, even in my own country, and I really admire that because I think it's great to see people that actually step in to help you when you are in trouble.
Yes.
When it comes to the age, like what is the age range that someone can be part of the mentoring program? Is there a limit, min,
So
max?
there is an age range, 12 to 18. However, I do make a exception if if I am encountering a group of siblings, right? I
Right,
always get a group of siblings where there's always a younger sister, maybe 10, 8 years old, but is responsible enough to be able to handle the workshops and the conversations that we have. Of course, that comes with the approval from the parent that yes, it's
right,
okay. And I let them know the things that we'll talk about, this, that, and that, to make sure that, the child, this is what she's going to be a part of. This is what we'll be discussing. You let me know if it's okay. I know that, because the workshops are on Saturdays and parents have to work. So
right,
normally the older child is responsible for the younger child and they'll come
right.
along, but it is designed for girls 12 to 18. But I will make an exception, for a 10-year-old
For
to come.
family, yes. What is the time commitment? So if someone wants to join your organization, do they have to? Are they enrolled? Like, is the program 4 months long, 6 months long? Do they
So
have
it's a year.
a year?
It's a
Okay,
year. So the program starts in September to June.
okay,
It's a year. Yeah, almost a year, like 10 months from September to June. Um, And yes, there is a registration form that you filled out. I don't collect any money. I don't charge registration fees because of the community that I serve. And like I said, I'm always, since I've opened up the program, I always get a group of sisters, either
right.
3 to 4 sisters. That I have 5 sisters in the program at one time. And that is something that I wanted to give back to the community, to offer them something free of charge, because in the inner city, in the Liberty City area, it's not much for teenagers to do that is free. Everything costs. And what do our girls like to do? They either like to cheer or they like to dance. And
Right,
dance is very expensive. And
right.
cheering is very expensive. And so what I try to do is bring those resources to them where they don't have to pay for it. Like I've had someone come in from a studio to do dance with them,
Oh wow.
and in turn she offered scholarships to two of our students,
Oh, that's
to
wonderful.
two of our girls that was able to take advantage of that. And those are the resources and the doors I like to open up for the girls. So I don't charge a registration fee. But the girls and the parents, they both have to sign a contract, because there is no registration fee, but there is accountability,
Yeah,
right? There
commitment.
is
Yeah,
accountability. And so I'm big up on accountability, that if you say, yes, this is what I want my daughter to do, or yes, and the mentee is saying, yes, I've read over the contract and I want to be a part of this, then I'm going to hold you to that commitment.
yeah.
I'm going to hold you
So
to that commitment.
the program is 1 year long.
Hmm.
Um, the meetup, the workshops happen on Saturday,
On Saturdays, the second and fourth Saturday of every month.
second of
Um,
so twice a month. So
Twice a
twice a
month,
month.
second and fourth Saturday, twice a month.
Okay.
From 10
Do they
a.m.
10 a.m.? Okay.
From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Do they have homework? Do they have things to complete throughout the 2 weeks period in between?
So this year, what we did, we have a program developer that designed a curriculum for them, which they do online in between those times where we're not meeting.
Yes.
We do online with her for about 2 hours, and they do it's a emotional intelligence curriculum where they learn about like this week, last week we actually started our communication workshop. Prior to that, we did our workshop on identity, and we had a workshop before, like a workshop before that. It's like broken down into 6 or 7 different parts,
Right.
where at the end there will be career readiness.
Right.
Everything that they have learned from the front, they'll be from the first workshop up until the end. It'll all bow down to they will be career readiness, academic readiness. They'll be ready to go to that next level because they'll
Right.
have that by then. They will have all the tools that they need to handle what they need to handle in the end.
Yeah. I remember when I first saw the curriculum, I really liked the fact that there is a module, a workshop on finance,
Hmm.
on financial education,
Yes.
because like they don't teach you. Like you go high school, university, master,
Yes. No,
they
they
don't
don't
teach you
teach you.
money.
Right. They don't teach you
Like
money.
no, you study for like 20 years to make money, but they don't teach you money. They don't teach
Right.
you nothing. It's like such a taboo
Nothing.
thing, but you've studied the entire life to make money, but it's taboo.
Right. That's true. That's true. And so whatever she do in the modules, what I try to do is like piggyback on that in the workshop, and we'll do hands-on activities so that they will really understand. We'll just expand that conversation outside of what it is that she's doing.
Yeah. I know you're also doing, I think you call them field trips. I know you take,
Hmm.
what were some of the field trips that you've done in Florida, in Miami-Dade?
So we have done we did our college tour. Um we did it was 2019 we did it. We haven't been able to do it since the pandemic, but we did it in 2019. We went to Miami-Dade North Campus, Florida Memorial University, Broward College, and we went to FIU. And the girls they really loved it. Some was their first time ever on a college campus. So it gave them insight
Yeah.
on what these schools offer, because most of the times we sell the universities outside, right? The HBCUs, the colleges outside of the state. And what
Right.
kids don't really understand is that cost, right? So if you go to a college outside that doesn't take Florida tuition or Florida scholarships or things like that, then your parents gonna have to come out of pocket with that.
Right.
And that is a hang up in our community. You
Yeah.
know, that is so that's why I push for scholarships, I push for literacy, I push for them to participate. I said I don't care what, if it's key club, participate in it. If it's a baking class, participate paid in it. I don't care. All you doing is building your resume. And I
Right.
learned that through my kids being in school, you know, being led while they were in school, to say, hey, I remember when my middle son graduated, and the valedictorian, he almost a 6 point something GPA. I said, how do you get a 6 point something GPA? Like, I never heard of that. He was like a 5.9 something. I'm like, how do your GPA get that high? But my son went to an art school. He went to New World School of the Art because he's a dancer. And so he was like, oh, they just go like take classes in the summer, like little art classes, and it helps bring up their GPA. I was like, oh, really? So I, in turn, with my daughter, I was like, oh, listen, you need to be a part of this, be a part of that. And so my daughter, when she was in high school, she was part of the Best Buddies program, which
Oh,
is a
okay.
program that they partner students with kids with with disabilities. And she loved it, and they loved it. And then, that opened up a door opportunity for her to work with them during the summer. And even after she graduated high school, she was still able to go back and work with them. And so I know that some parents are not aware of these programs that are in school. So I
Yeah.
try to inform the kids, like, listen, this is what you need to be a part of. And two, because they all express they want to go into healthcare, they want to be nurses. I said, okay, listen, get into the medical program. If your
Right.
school doesn't offer a medical program, I believe it's 16, at the age of 16, check your local hospitals, see if they have volunteer programs. Go and volunteer. You know, I don't even know if they still do the candy stripers like they used to do when we was in school. But if so, get involved, because that's how you're gonna know. That's gonna get your name out there. That's gonna get your face out there. You're gonna get a skill set from out there and
Yes.
all of those things. Also, we had an opportunity to work at the Hard Rock Stadium. They had, I believe they still have it, I'm not sure. But at that time, 2018, 2019, 2020, they had, it's called Nonprofits for a Cause. And pretty much what you do, you sign up and you can run a stand, a food stand, a concession stand. And
Okay.
so we did that. We did that. I did it one season with another organization just to get the feel of it. And then the next season I did it just my organization alone. And we did all of the games, right? And that was
Wow.
like one of our best moments with Butterfly Effect, because we were able to attend the Super Bowl when it came in
Wow.
2020,
That's
and those
amazing.
girls were so excited. They met so many celebrities. They had an opportunity to talk to them. I
Wow.
mean, we had got so much positive feedback for the service, and this was
Yeah.
all of our first times as well
Wow.
in food management. For them being cashiers, food handlers. I mean, those kids served with excellence. We were tired. We were woe out during that season, but it was such a phenomenal
Yeah.
experience for them. It was
Yeah.
such a phenomenal experience for them. And the recognition that our stand got, I mean, they used to come back, and we didn't even know that some of them was employees of the stadium, but they would come back and, just give us like kudos, y'all, like you
Oh,
serve with
that's amazing.
excellence. So that was awesome. The feedback was awesome. What else? We took them to Butterfly World so that they can learn about butterflies, right?
Right.
Why are we called the
Right.
butterflies? Let's learn about butterflies. And as a matter of fact, we have a field trip coming up next month, February 21st. We're going to take this new group to Butterfly World. Um, and what else? We've been a lot of places. We've done a
Yeah.
lot of things with them, exposed them to a lot of things. We went to see the Dance Theater of Harlem. They performed at the South Miami Cultural Art Center. So they were able to see a professional dance show, because so many of them wanted to dance. Whatever they tell me they want to do, or they would like to do, or they never
Yeah.
experienced, I try to make that experience happen for them in any way that I can.
Yeah. The immersive experience, I think, is one of the most formative experiences someone can have. Because
Hmm.
sometimes if you don't see of what's possible, if you don't see what's out there, how do you know what to dream?
Right,
Like you
right,
don't know like you gotta see it, you gotta experience
right,
the energy. Like you want to meet people that are doing that job, you want to meet students that are studying that specific major. Like
right,
yeah, you I don't think you can dream something that you can see. You gotta see
right.
it either in real life or you see it on something online. I don't know, but you obviously when it's immersive, you're there. That's a whole different experience.
Yeah, I'm all about community
Yeah.
engagement. We even did the dolphin cycling challenge. We volunteered out there. Again, they was able to meet the dolphin players. They were able to see and help. I'm all about, it's not always about us receiving, but it's about us giving back as
Giving.
well.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm big on community impact, community engagement, and things like that.
Yeah, I remember when we were looking at the website to redesign it a little bit, you're very like, No, I want a picture that shows that the community service.
Yeah,
Like you were very specific. Like I want that specific picture. I want it on the website because it's the message
because
that
that's
we
who we are.
that's
Yeah, because that's
that's the
who we
message
are.
that we want to like. We are having fun. We're studying. We're giving back. We are close to each other. We are having fun. I know I've seen pictures the parties. I think you do theme parties with various like
Hey,
outfits.
we've had Christmas parties. We did pajama Christmas party. We did an ugly sweater paint party. Yeah, I'm all about themes and parties
Yeah,
and anything to get them excited, because
yeah,
that's what the kids are into. Yeah, we're
right,
gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Yeah.
right.
And this year I'm excited. because I'm planning a day trip for them to New York
Oh,
in
wow.
June. Yeah, so we're gonna go see a Broadway show. We're gonna go see
Wow.
Aladdin. I was just having a conversation with a young lady, and I was like, I want to take them on a day trip because we were talking about traveling one day, and a lot of us like, oh, I have never been on a plane before. I'm not. I said, oh, I gotta take y'all somewhere then.
I
So
love
I
it.
was like, maybe I'll just take them somewhere, to another state or whatever. So my friend, she said, what about New York? I was like, oh, New York. Oh, I can't handle New York by myself. Now, I've been there a couple of times, but I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing these promotions for Aladdin. But when I seen Disney, I thought it was in Orlando. But then when I looked more into it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. The tickets are a reasonable price. Yes. So we can plan a day trip, leave early in the morning, have breakfast, go to an early show. They'll still be able to see some sites, if not all,
Right.
the Statue of Liberty, the 9/11
Times Square,
Memorial,
if they're going to
and
Broadway. Yeah.
yeah, and then head back home, you know,
I love it.
just give them
I
that
love
experience.
Yeah. I know for nonprofit is the funding is always a challenge.
Funding is a challenge.
How did
All
you,
that funding.
yeah, how do you get funding? How do you get the word out? Are there any grants in the state, in the county? I have no idea how this is working.
So funding is and has always been a challenge for me. I do have a grant writer. Do have because we're still in contact with each other. I do have a grant writer. He's located in Texas. He's been really good for the organization. But most of our grants we get normally comes from Walmart community grants
Okay.
because they respond faster. Their grants are up to $5,000. And sometimes we receive some, sometimes we don't. And then we do fundraisers. We just had a fundraiser, our popcorn fundraiser, which we do every year for our anniversary. We do a popcorn fundraiser that brings like residual income, like it brings it in fast because the fundraiser is only for 4 days. That's all they allow. So
Oh,
you have to
wow.
sell. Yeah, you have to sell. And you could continue to like run that, like continue to create a campaign to run it. Um, you know. But as far as bigger grants, it's challenging because it was a lot of things that I didn't know about nonprofit and business when I got into it. I just dived into it without knowing. And so it's a lot of things that I've learned just last year in a nonprofit cohort that I attended with Miss Ebony Moss, who is phenomenal. She has a nonprofit cohort that she ran. And some of the grants that we applied for, we didn't qualify because of how we filed our taxes, right? So
I see.
yeah, how we filed our taxes because we didn't meet that bracket where we needed to file a longer form. We were always just filing the postcards because we never generated, $50,000.
That's a
So
lot.
yeah, that's a
So
lot.
you're
Yeah.
not getting money to run the nonprofit because you don't have money in the nonprofit, but the
Right.
purpose of the
Right.
grant is to give even if you have zero.
Right.
That's
So
crazy.
it's challenging, but what I can say, God has always been good to Butterfly Effect. He always make a way out of no way. And so, I've tried to give up. Trust me, I've tried, but he
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
let me. He won't let me
I
give up. He won't let me give up. So I just keep going and I keep trusting in him to know that he'll make a way until we get our big break in fundraising, and I mean our big break in grants and stuff like that, where we can be self-sustainable. But right now, fundraising, and we do apply for grants.
Yeah,
And the other flip side of that is that if you have a grant writer, then that means you have to pay the grant writer. So if you
right,
keep paying and you're
right,
not receiving, it's
right,
like you know.
right. Yeah, yeah. What are some of the challenges when it comes to the mentees? Have you had cases where they had to quit because the family members changed their mind?
Oh yeah, I've had girls to come along and then drop out because family issues going on. And the thing about Butterfly Effect, it's a holistic program, right? So I have even mentored parents. They have called me into their personal situations for me to sit and talk with them, and I try to find resources for them as well. So I don't force them to stay,
Right.
right? Because I want you to be willing. Because if you're willing, you're not only going to show up, but you're going to show up and you're going to participate. I'm not going to force you to stay. So I have had girls to start the program and not complete it, but still kept in contact with me.
Okay.
Some
Right.
people just feel like the group thing wasn't their thing. They rather to have a more one-on-one, you
Right.
know, more one-on-one relationship than more so being in a group, and that's fine because I do offer um one-on-one mentoring, life coaching. I don't put a title
Right.
to it. I'm just here to listen. That's it.
Right.
To be
And
a servant, to listen, to do what I can, do what's
yeah.
in my reach. And so yeah, it's a challenge with some of the girls. It's a challenge with parents as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I have to keep reiterating to them that time is like commodity. You know, I'm giving my time. So when you said yes, that means you committed to give your time as well. So if I could be here at 10, I expect your child to be here at 10.
Right.
When I first started, I think I spoiled some of the parents because I was going to pick up kids and do all this. I said, no, I can't do this time around. Now the parents have to have some type of accountability as well.
Yeah. Where do you meet on whenever you have the workshops? What is the
So
meeting
we
spot? Yeah.
So we have several places that we meet. We don't have a home.
Mm-hmm. Yet?
We
Yeah.
don't we don't have a home yet. And so we meet at the library at the Joseph Caleb Center. We meet at the library right here at the Miami Central location. Or sometimes we meet at our home if we're not on a field trip. We meet at my home with the parents' permission. We set up outside in the yard, and the girls, they're comfortable. I believe I live in a safe neighborhood. They're not in danger of anything. We did it all through the pandemic. And so, yeah, so, we meet at home or meet in a park, wherever,
Yeah.
wherever
Yeah.
there's an open space, we're there.
Yeah. If there is a will, there is a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. When is the last time you wanted to quit?
Oh, I wanted to quit before I met you.
Now you can't quit. I can't quit.
Before
We
I
are fine
met
to each
you,
other.
I said, you know what? Mm, no. So I was, okay. So what is this? What we're in 26, 25, 24, 23, 23. In 23, I had quit. I did quit. I put in a dissolution for the organization and everything. I did quit, right?
So that
And
was a
because I
serious,
am,
like I'm
yeah,
quitting.
I
Like
was
I am
serious.
dissolving everything.
I was like, no more. I just felt like I was being taken advantage of. Um, and it's because I gave so much of myself, my time, my resources. I gave so much, and it's like I'm showing up for them and nobody's showing up for themselves because you're not showing up for me, you're showing up for
Right.
yourselves. And so what happened was I had an event. I was doing a youth empowerment tea party. Um, and I thought I was being very reasonable about everything, to cover costs. Each girl had to sell 10 tickets, not the girls that's in the program now, but those were before them. I was like, everybody had to sell 10 tickets, $10 a ticket. That's $100 a girl, right? This to cover costs because, again, we have to rent space, food, everything I do, I'm going to do in excellence. So we had to have decorations. I'm bringing in speakers and things like this. Some people donate their time, but some people that's their living, and you have to pay them,
Right.
right? So out of all the girls I had at that time, which I think I had about 15 girls at that time, I believe it was one, two, three girls showed up.
Wow.
Three girls showed up, and I was going to cancel it. I was going to cancel the event and everything. And one of my friends had to sit me down and talk to me and was like, "No, you don't stop until the last girl show up.
Wow. That's
You
beautiful.
keep going. You don't stop until the last girl show up." And so I was like, okay, because I feel like this room is filled because people believe in our mission. They believe in you guys. It's not even me because I like to be behind the scene. I don't even
Right.
like my face to be out there. It's about you all, and you didn't show up for you, and you're making it, everybody's making excuses, but it was no excuse to be made because I'm like, no, we're going to dress up in tea party attire. I had their headbands, the fachetas, I had that made for them for free. They didn't have to buy it. I went on Sheen, found low cost dresses, $10 out. My dress was $10 off of Sheen. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Y'all go get nails done. Y'all pay for nails. Nails is almost $100, but you can't buy this. So it was like, it was a how can I say? It was a hit to my heart. So when that season ended, I was like, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I feel like this is my time is up. And then I got a notification from the YWCA in 2024. They were having a cohort. And I said, okay, let me see what this about because I'm always signing up for something. So let me see what this about. Signed up blindly, not knowing what it was about, but it was about business. But it was for profits, but it was a cohort, and I learned a lot. And those women that facilitated that cohort, they was like, I hear so much passion in your voice. You
Yes.
cannot give up. You
Yes.
cannot give up. You like the auntie that these kids need. You cannot give up. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And so one of the young ladies, she referred me to the young lady, Miss Ebony, who was actually having a cohort for her for nonprofit organizations. And so last year I participated in her cohort, and it she took you from the beginning of beginning to start your nonprofit, everything that you need to have in place, all
Yeah.
the way up to how to make it run successfully. Very, very strategic, very informative. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, I should have did this 7 years ago. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's never too late.
Yeah.
And so I started applying that knowledge in those applications. And I'm still working on some stuff that she has given us. And then I went to they had a nonprofit event downtown at Miami-Dade Wilson campus, and I attended that, and I met some prominent people there. But the thing is about the challenges with that, like the networking, right? So you meet
Right.
people, and me, you have had this conversation. You
Right.
meet people and they say, oh yeah, you're doing a great job. Oh yeah, I would love to come along and help. Oh yeah, I would do this. But then when it's time to do it, nobody shows up. So that's frustrating as well, right? Because I feel like if I tell someone I'm gonna do something, I try my best to, do it because I believe
Right.
in accountability. And so that's another thing that leaves a sore taste in my mouth when people say, oh, yeah, I want to come along and help. I love to volunteer with your program. I'll offer you space. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then it never happens. But I just keep pushing, I
Yeah.
keep pushing. So that's when I wanted to quit. And then just to be honest, maybe like a week or so ago, I was like, Lord, is this my last season or do I keep going? Like I'm always questioning, like, is this my last season? Do I go to younger, like young adults? Should I just take it to 18 to 25? Let me just see what that target look like, that population look like, because I do I'm not a certified life coach, but apparently some people think I am because they always referring people to me, and I form these relationships with young people who I have, coach them, shall I say, coach, mentor them. So I'm like, do
Yeah.
I go to the older population or do I stick with the girls? So we'll see what happens at the end of this season. We'll see
Can
what
you do
happens.
can you do both?
I can do both. I mean, it'll be a lot, but I
Yeah.
can. I can.
Because I think the second program will be a continuation of what's happening in the first program. You graduate, now you are in college, or maybe you're a professional, you have a full-time job, and now you're continuing the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's something to look into.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I think any area of life, you see a lot of sayers, very few doers.
Mm-hmm.
That's valid for everything. Uh,
Yeah.
if people don't follow through, and I think sometimes, there is a saying, I don't know who said it, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
If you don't follow up on one simple thing, most likely you're not following it up in a lot of areas of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Leomise, I know you have a lot of girls graduating. They went to college. What are two of your most proudest moments that you're like, oh my God, like that's this is why I'm
Hey,
doing this for.
just to see them push through, to know their story, to know their journey, and where I met them at, right? From the point of where I met them. Some very shy, didn't even know they had a voice, to becoming vocal, to smiling, laughing, pushing through. Some who were so far beyond in school and just worked their way through to graduate on time. Even those who went off to college.
Right.
I have one that's at FAMU right now. This is her second semester in school. She loves it. I have another one who she graduated from Miami-Dade. Now she finished FIU. Now she's getting ready to go into her master's at FIU.
Wonderful.
So those are the stories that, as long as you just keep going, just keep going, no matter what it is. I tell them my story. Listen, I started out after high school. I went to a technical school because I wanted to be a medical assistant. Um, when I got to a module that I felt was challenging for me, I stopped. I went to Miami Dade. I didn't like Miami Dade. I ended up at Florida Memorial. Then I got pregnant with my second child. I quit college, went straight into the workforce, and that was in 1996. And I didn't return back to school until 2010 when I went to Barry University. I got my degree in 2013, and then I retrieved my master's from Liberty University, and I finished there in 2017. So I just let them know it's never too late. It's never too late. Life will throw you all type of curveballs. You just got to
Yeah.
duck and dodge and get back on your post. That's it.
Yeah. And I do want to emphasize, right, that you have a full-time job, you're a mom, and
Hmm.
you still have time for to help others. It's not like
Yes.
it's not like because I hear a lot of excuses. Oh, but I have a job, I have kids, I have that. But no, no, like
Oh, listen, I'm a
you have,
mom. I'm a newly wife. March will be my second year anniversary. So I'm a
congratulations.
mom. I'm a wife. I'm in ministry. I do a lot. I do a
Yeah,
lot, but I still make time for those kids because that is my ministry. People are my ministry. Just to give them
yeah,
hope, give them
yeah,
joy. Let them know that life is not over just because you hit a hard rock. And
yeah,
these kids these days, they can't take pressure.
right.
They can't take pressure. So any little thing they want to give up. They want to give up. And I'm like, no, you can't give up. You can't give up. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna find another route. If this route don't work, we're
Yeah,
gonna take another route. And just like I always use this analogy, even for my children, I use this analogy. I said, listen, some people take the elevator and they go straight to the top.
yeah,
But some people are stair takers, and you
right.
got
But
to take the stairs. And sometimes the higher you get, the harder the stair. It's hard to climb the stairs, but there's a lesson and a blessing in every step. And if
yeah,
you need to take a moment to pause and breathe, take that moment, pause and breathe, but
yeah,
get back up. Like,
I
that's
love
my
it.
message to my children. Like, yes, I was a mom at 16. I didn't know what it meant to be a mom at 16. I was still a child myself,
Right.
but I knew that I had to keep going. I
Yeah,
knew that the circumstances I was in wasn't going to be my forever place. Like, I knew it, but it was up to me to say, okay, and I'm gonna refer back to the Bible because that's just who I am. He say, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, but when I became a man, I put away my childish ways. So
right.
yeah, it took me a long time to put away my childish ways, but when I did, I put my boots to the ground and I let them know that, yeah, you could do this
Yeah,
too. I don't want you to wait until you're 30 to go back to school. I will want you to do it now,
right.
but your journey is your journey,
Yeah,
and do it with joy. Do it with joy. No need to gripe and do it with joy. Life is short.
right.
Life
Why
is short.
life is way too short? Way too short.
Life is way too short.
Why do you think, because you were with so many teenagers, why do you think they are so sensitive to pressure, that they cannot handle pressure? Why is that from what you've seen? What's causing that?
I think it's a lot of things that's causing it. Social media definitely is the biggest influence of all. Um, they see things they think is real and it don't be real because people can make any lifestyle
Right,
online. You know, you could create anything online. That don't mean that's your true circumstance. And they see it and they want it. And if they can't get it, they feel like failures, right? Um, it's just so much that's going on in our world today. It doesn't not it's not allowing our children to be children. It's not allowing them to be kids. It's
mm,
making them grow up faster than what they should be, even down to our babies. You know, our babies are they're going like, we say they're grown beyond their years. But it's like the influence out there, the things that's out there is making them gravitate to these things. The things that we didn't have access to is open access for everybody, even for the
right,
babies. It's open
right,
access. And so they're not shielded from anything. They're open to everything. And now they're trying to figure out, what do I do with all this that I've seen, that I hear, that I've learned, what I know? What do I do when there's nobody in there? There's no resources, or there's nobody teaching them what to do,
right,
with what they have. And so that pressure comes. And of course, with teenage girls and everything, with pressure comes predators, right? Just
right.
but to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
pressure comes, the predators come, and so I just try to keep it real with them and let them know, like, this is what it is. And I have had some young ladies to come back and say, you know what, you was right, Miss Leomise. You was right. I was like, yeah, I know y'all feel like your parents don't know what we talking about. Like, we ain't have it hard. I believe we had it harder than y'all. Y'all have more privilege than what we had.
yeah,
But, we just trying to prevent you guys from going through things that we went through, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, they
Is
have that pressure because of social media,
is
because
it
of the lack of resources too.
right? Right. And I think, when you don't have resources, sometimes the phone can act as an escape.
Mm-hmm.
You
Definitely, the
just
phone can act for escape because
scrolling, you
if you
see,
go to these inner city schools,
right,
they first of all, you go to the inner city schools, and where I grew up at, and you look at the buildings of schools, they don't have the same resources as they build in these brand new schools with all
right,
this high
right,
tech stuff. So they already at a disadvantage.
right,
And then the community centers and the parks and all of this, like I say, is about favoritism. It's about, who you know, not what you know. Is all about who you know. So if your parents are not known in the community, then 9 times out of 10, your child ain't gonna be selected. They're not gonna get that opportunity, and it's just, it's a lot of challenges. And I wanted to, like, our commissioners and all of, they need to work for the community. They
right.
really need to work for the community. They building all these buildings, but you're not building nothing for these kids to do.
Yeah,
You're forcing them in the house because you're taking away their playgrounds.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're forcing
Yeah.
them to stay in the house. And in
Stay
the
in the
house
house
is the phone.
and the phone.
Yeah,
Right,
it's the
right,
phone. In the house is the phone because you're taking away their playground by
right.
building buildings everywhere.
Right. And the environment is a little bit more challenging. Like that phone is the only thing that gives them like dopamine, and they get
Mm-hmm.
that little rush of like, okay, this makes me happy. And
Happy,
that's
yep.
how the addiction
That's
keeps
how it
going.
starts.
That's how it
Mm-hmm.
starts. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, and then obviously there were like so many studies that that's impacting actually your like your attention span, your brain development,
Yeah, your nervous system,
nervous
everything.
system, like
Yes,
even
everything's getting
even
affected by
for
that.
me, and I'm like an adult, like sometimes I ended up comparing myself with other people. And I'm an adult, like, I didn't grow up with the phone, but no matter what, it's still affecting you. I can't even imagine when you were like just 12 or 10 or even like
Yeah.
younger, even younger.
Yeah, because I know when we had our Christmas event, our holiday workshop, they were so excited. Like, we made snow globes, we made s'mores, we did personalized stockings, and they were so engaged into that stuff because that is everything they do now in school is on a computer. They barely use their hands to do, arts and craft. I don't even know if they have art class anymore, and if they do, it's probably on the
Yeah,
screen as well. So just to see them, the how engaged they are when we are doing these activities, and I'm
Right.
asking them questions like, what is a gift that you always wanted that you didn't receive yet? And surprisingly, these are teenagers, but they all say like, "Oh, I always wanted a dollhouse," or "I always want." So these are the things that they desire, but because society doesn't push it out there, the commercials are not pushing it out there. Everything is tech, 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 right? Tech, the
Wow.
next gadget. Everything is like the next gadget. I'm like, so I'm always, because that was my childhood experience, playing with baby dolls, playing with doll houses, riding a bike, skating. So I'm always up for adventure. Okay, let's go skating. We're gonna go skating. Some of them don't even know how to skate. Some of
Yeah.
them don't even know how to ride a bike.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that is where, like, it makes it even harder because tech is expensive. Tech is like
Mm-hmm.
$200 or more if you
Yeah,
want to get an iPhone. And a doll, it can be much cheaper, but that's not being advertised to children
right.
because it's not
But they
that
want it. I
expensive.
mean, you
They
see
want
kids
it.
5 years old with
Right.
iPhones.
Yeah.
You see kids that they know, your babies know. You put an iPad in
Well,
front of a baby and they know how to. I be
yeah.
like, now how they know how to swipe that finger? They don't even know what they looking at, but they know that YouTube
It's
icon. They know
right.
how to press that YouTube icon, and they know how to get to their show.
Yeah.
And that is so funny to me. But
Yeah.
that's the world that we live in today.
Yeah. That's you don't know what's real world and what's fantasy, what's
Mm-hmm.
digital world. Yeah. So Leomis, when, like, for those listening to us, right? So one would be those that would like to help you, right? Like, would like to donate. I know you have the registry that has items that people
Yes.
can purchase. Um, so where can people find you? How can people help you?
So you can go on our website at www.butterflyeffectgmp.org. You could become a weekly donor, monthly donor. We do have Zephy on there if you want to make a monetary donation. You can read all about us on our website. It's a lot of information on there. You can also submit an inquiry if you want to volunteer with the program. We do have an inquiry form on there, as well as our wish list that is from Amazon is also on there as well. As far as our social media platform, Facebook is Butterfly Effect Girls Mentoring Inc. Instagram is BE underscore girls underscore Inc. INC. That's our Instagram. And we also have a LinkedIn with Butterfly Effect
Mhm.
um, Girls Mentoring Inc. as well.
Yeah. And I know in your registry, if some listeners can spend a little bit more or a little bit less. There are books, there are stationery, there are
Yes,
laptops, so anyone can choose whatever product makes sense for them to contribute to the organization. Uh,
yes.
uh, so you can pick and choose, order directly. That the links will take you directly to your Amazon or like to the listener
Wish list, yes.
list, and you can acquire that item. It is going to take you just a few seconds. Um, and for Lomis, and for girls and for parents. So I know the year started in September. If
Mm-hmm.
someone, they're listening to this, they're new to the program, if they want to join, can they join? If the program started, do you have something for them? Do you put them on a list to join next year? Actually, this year in September.
Well, normally I will allow them to come along in the program depending on where we are. But now I know we're going into like spring break and graduation, because spring break will be next in about 2 months. And then so we'll really be like winding down. I don't feel like they'll get a full effect of what it is that we do,
Right.
but registration will open in June, maybe the latter part of June, beginning of July. We'll have our registration open for September. And the reason why we start in September is because we want the kids to get acclimated back in school and everything before we start. So we start the second Saturday, the second weekend in September.
Yeah.
is when we'll start again.
Yeah. And if there are any potential like girls that want to become mentees, you can check the website Leomise just
Right.
said.
You can check the
Yeah.
website. You can
Yeah.
check the website for registration for the girl if they want to
Right.
become a part of the program. And also if you want to become a volunteer or a mentor, that information is also on the website
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And I know on the website there are like success stories, you have pictures from graduation, and it says exactly,
Yes.
if they, a lot of the girls, they graduated college, some of them are still in college, and there are
Mm-hmm.
pictures from all the events you've organized. So the website gives a holistic view on how the program looks like and some of the trips you're the field trips you are doing too.
Yes. Yes. All of that is on the website as well as our social media platform as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
As we try to keep you informed on them as well. And if you would like to become a partner with us, by all means, hit that inquiry form. We'll get back to you.
What is one last question, Leomis? Where do you see the organization? Like, what's the ideal vision for 2036, 10 years from now?
10 years from now,
Yes.
yeah, 10 years from now, it was a dream of mine to be able to retire from my day job to run the program wholeheartedly, full time. And that would look like us being in a building in different rooms set up. Like I say, the resources that the children are not normally able to take to have access to. We want to be able to have that access, like a dance studio, a computer lab, of course, because we promote literacy. Our leadership program, I really want to do a leadership program. And I want to make that like a summer or a winter initiative while they're out of school, to do a leadership program and what that would look like. Like they would graduate, they would get pinned, they would be an opportunity where they can do what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, give it to me. But they'll be able to do an internship with a business or something like that, like, to be able to partner them with a
Right.
business that they inspire to do on their own. Like some might want to be a hairstylist. I would want them to like do an internship at a salon or a beauty school or something like that, so they can understand the business part about of it, the leadership part about it, not just about doing the actual hair or nursing. Like I said, I have one of my elementary friends who is now, she teaches at the University of Miami. She's an alumni of the University of Miami. She also has her own health business, and she gave them a plethora of information about ways you can go, all the different outlets and the avenues you can go in healthcare and nursing. And I would want them to be paired with somebody to do an internship with them. So that is something else that I'm looking into, doing like a leadership camp for girls, to prepare them to be leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
No,
that's what 2036 will look like.
2036.
All of that in that pyramid coming together, seeing them go through the stages, the metamorphosis, going through the cocoon, and eventually coming out and spreading their wings.
I love it. That was a
Yeah.
wonderful ending. Leomis,
Yes.
thank you so much. I admire you so much. You have no idea because you have a drive that is just so authentic and you just keep going. So
Thank
I
you.
very much appreciate you. I'm happy that we are friends.
Yes.
And I know I'm going to see you soon. Thank you again, and thank you everyone for watching. Just check the notes in the description, and please join and let's help together the organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see. Okay, so I think we are on. I think I'm recording to
Mhm.
the cloud.